Good morning guys, James here down at the Southampton International Boat Show, and we've got a really exciting one for you this morning. I'm not actually stood on board here, we're alongside on the 68 as I just want to try and take this one in profile. It is the all new Sunseeker Predator 75. Now we launched the sport yacht version of this back in Düsseldorf earlier this year. This is actually boat 110, she's a 2024 hull. She is available, delivered here fresh to the show, and she's behind me here in this beautiful grey hull. I just had to try and stand back so you can take this one in. For me, this is the ultimate boys' toy in the day boat range. Now we do have, of course, 3 big cabins in there. I call it a day boat. For me, it's somebody with a villa that wants the old Ibiza to Formentera runs, the Pampelonne Beach in the south of France. It isn't the big volume flybridge cruisers and the larger yacht range, it is the racy Predator styling. So you have those beautiful black signature hull windows there running all the way from the midships to the forward cabin, lots of stainless steel detailing, carbon fibre on those engine vents, and all the Predator traits you'd expect in terms of things like the black dummy domes up top. We painted the radar chair there black LSA paint across the roof there to give a really low profile, sleek, sexy boat. She is an absolute weapon on the water. Lots of large yacht systems in these, so we run hydraulic thrusters. We're on a V-drive shaft configuration with the MAN 1900 horsepower engines. They get on for speeds approaching 40 knots. They are absolutely awesome to drive. We're going to check her out in a little bit more detail. So here we are around next to the boat here on the pontoon. Have to excuse me this morning, I'm going to actually walk around with a spec sheet for this one. She's 3 pages of detail. There is so much kit on board this one. Haven't yet built one of these for a client, to say as it's a new model, getting to learn her as we walk around. You can see now up close the detailing with the stainless steel band there. The boat is available, of course, in a white hull, black, a multitude of different gel coat colours, but this particular one really nicely finished, I think, with that grey. Very, very racy looking. Now, platform on the back here will take up to a 4-metre tender, but we, of course, being a Predator, have a garage setup. So on the starboard side here, we'll pop it up in a sec. We have space for a 395 Williams tender and a 2-berth crew cabin here on the stern. Synthetic decking change over and above the 74 Predator that this one replaces allows us to give some much more modern looking deck finishes here. We have a step here that remains once the platform's down, so you can still walk around the back accessing the crew cabin and what have you. So let's head on board, take a look around. We'll start off here in the crew cabin in the back before we go inside. Let's pop that open and I can show you full of kit for the boat show here. So we have a fixed bathroom there over on the starboard side, washer dryer facilities and 2 single beds. We always get comments on these about it being quite a compact cruise space, but these are typically still an owner operator boat, or perhaps with an ad hoc captain for summer cruising away, but still very much in the realms of a 2-person private husband and wife type setup. You can run this boat quite happily. Wet room floor, of course, and what have you. Everything's nice and practical in there. And then let's just pop that garage open and you can see in the back. So split sunbed arrangement, you can see that's just coming up to reveal the tender. Right, so let's head on down, just show you how this works. So Williams launch and recovery shuttle system in the middle there, and space, as you can see, for that 395 jet tender. There's some storage above. You can see the underside, there's a life raft locker from underneath the sun pad. We've got some fender box cushion storage there, and then we have some room up top here to put a mesh bag, if you wish, for the garage. Okay, so here we are into the main cockpit itself. So we've got an electric rise and fall table here. The top, of course, opening up to reveal a much bigger dining space as required. That beautiful high gloss carbon fibre lacquered top there. There is a removable panel here which allows you direct access out onto the starboard deck base, and the backrest lifting out as required, just to save you having to walk down and round on the bathing platform. Very modern fabrics, as you can see here. We've gone for a soft exterior upholstery. There's protective covers pack, as well as the option to fully tent this aft area if you ever needed to. Wet bar here over on the opposite side. Of course, with the galley being downstairs, this is a big focal point for outside entertainment, and we have the usual fridge, ice maker, sink and cooktop, painted in that LSA jet black to match in with the domes and the roof system, just giving that nice moody look. So through into the main saloon. Now, of course, as has been done on Predators for some time now, we have the drop-down window and sliding door arrangement here to seamlessly integrate everything into one area. So of course then the seating is all on one level. You'll notice no threshold on the door here, so it's seamless interaction between the two zones. But if you needed to run the aircon, for example, we can bring this up and across and close off this deck saloon at the touch of a button. Over here on the port side, the TV's in a high-low box, so that tucks away into the side bulkhead there, and that gives you then back the nice vista out of these big panoramic glass windows. It is quite a spectacular area, really hard to bring this impression across to you on the camera, but it is a fantastic social zone. So electric height adjustable table, you can see currently in its sort of coffee style lowered position, the top expanding out as required, and you can turn that into a dining space. Very nautical with the sort of greys and the blues through this zone. Coming forward to the helm position, we have an upgrade to everything as you'd expect on a boat show boat, so two 19-inch Simrad multi-function displays there. We've got things like the CM8 monitoring panel, hydraulic fin stabilisers, as we talked earlier about those big ship systems. These really do run very nicely, whether up at speed or cruising at 12 knots in a sort of long distance slow passage. We have a jog dial here for the screens just to save getting up out of the seat, remote control spotlight, autopilot and everything you'd expect to see. For docking itself, all of the controls here over on the starboard side. We've got the proportional thrusters, the throttles and the optional joystick system there. So that's taking a combination of thruster and throttle controls for close quarters manoeuvring, saving having to do all of the multitude of things yourself. And it's right next to this door that we've got over on the starboard side for easy access for a captain coming alongside. There is the option for a second station back in the cockpit, although we're moving more and more these days towards the remote systems, and we've got this nice little observation seating area here opposite to chill out next to whoever is at the helm. And above us, this beautiful opening carbon fibre hardtop. There's a seal as that just drops down and starts to lift back, and you can see a high gloss lacquer over the top of that exposed weave to turn this boat into that lovely open top sports car feel as required. Over on that port side, just as the roof's going back, we've got all the glassware, some extra refrigeration and AV setup. Boats running a PEPWave router system on board 4G, and of course full AV throughout all the exterior zones as well. So that roof's pretty much back there, and if we come back here in the saloon, you can now see how that transforms that driving position into the open sports car feel when you so wish. So down the bottom of the stairs here, we come into this nice easy access galley. So it is obviously a lower deck galley arrangement. We've tried to incorporate the skylight arrangement with the windscreen up above us, but it does give nice easy serving access to the decks above, but keeping all of that lovely seating up top. Very, very modern finish down here. So we've got lots of sprayed lacquer, you can see on the doors here. Good size convection oven there, 4-burner top. There's a dishwasher in here and lots of high-level locker boxes and what have you for crockery and cutlery. Wine fridge there as we came down the stairs there, and then we lead forward seamlessly into this lower deck dinette area. Now there are a couple of different configurations available on this 75 hull. We can incorporate this space into more of a walk-in wardrobe style, larger VIP forward cabin. We can do a fourth cabin with some bunk beds in here. But for me, I think this works best as you see her here in the open plan configuration, the dinette space. Carbon fibre detailing throughout these, so we can see on the beautiful gloss finish on the tabletop there. Nice nailed finish here on the door handles, and it works in great contrast with that sprayed silver lacquer on the doors. You can see the Predator detailing running through every bulkhead in the boat. And across here, of course, a full AV package with TVs throughout all the cabins and the seating areas. So let's start in terms of accommodation in the forward cabin. This is cabin number 2, VIP guest forward here. with that large centerline bed, drawer arrangement and what have you underneath. Carpet upgrade, there's lots of decor, custom changes on this particular boat, being a boat show one. You can see the LED lighting detail there running under the bed. Again, the styling detail in the headboard and the stainless detailing in through this beautiful silver oak wood. Practical touches, there are of course storage in the high level lockers and what have you, little coin trays here either side of the bed. And the TVs we mentioned earlier. There's a little vanity station here over on the port side. Of course, every cabin is en suite on this, so we have a good size shower stall there, upgrade on the bulkheads to a beautiful veined finish, as well as on those worktops in a lovely off-white porcelain. All right, back here into what is cabin number 3 on the boat, or the twin bed guest, and you can see a couple of steps down there just to give additional height. Very, very bright and airy in here. Myself just under 6 foot. You can see how much space we've got here up onto the ceiling. It is, despite being the 3rd cabin, a great space. TV tucked up on the wall there. We do have a Jack and Jill arrangement here into this particular bathroom, taking us direct from that cabin, or this can also be utilised as a day head. And you can see over there the shower stall at the back. Carbon strips here running through the door. Say, very, very modern interior. Won't be to everyone's taste, but for somebody, say, wanting that sort of Hamptons Beach Club look, for me, it's absolutely exquisitely finished. Just scanning around here on the tail end of the galley setup, we have the fridge and freezer drawers. We've got a big cupboard here for provision storage. They are great for extended periods away. I've got a number of owners using the older 74 version out in the Adriatic for often several weeks at a time. And with a water maker on board, you can make the boat very functional as well as hugely stylish. So we now come back into the master cabin. This is actually bigger than a 76 yacht in terms of volume, as the boat is very much geared up around that sort of owner setup. And we have the configuration with the table and 2 seats here over on the port side of the boat. We're looking aft, of course, with that lovely big LED slash through the bulkhead itself. The standard configuration over on the other side, we've got the pull-out stool over the vanity desk. See the boat nicely dressed here with some funky lights and what have you, and this sprayed silver finish on all of the cabinetry. Practical touches around the bed, things like the USB sockets and what have you. Bathroom here forward, where we have everything you'd expect, including electric towel rail up on the wall there, and a good size shower stall there with the rain head in the roof. And across this side, there is a good size, almost walk-in wardrobe style cupboard with some shelving in behind on that forward bulkhead. So let's head back up, check out the foredeck. So let's finish off up on the bows and come round here and up onto the side deck. You'll see we've elected to go for the synthetic decking throughout, so we've got this all the way to the bows. Just spin the camera around so you can see just how big these windows are in proportion to myself, pretty much running from the deck head there all the way up above us. And we're greeted with this fixed table and seating arrangement. The top is adjustable to get a nice height, and then the backrest can lift forward, and you can see the stainless steel frame there for a pram hood style bimini top. And we have a central sunbathing area, the backrest cushions lifting up there to allow you to sit and read a book. We have protective covers package, so these can all live out during the season. And then all of the deck hardware and what have you up here on the bows. Nice big lockers on the Sunseeker, so there is space there to keep fenders and what have you below deck in that forward locker. Very, very aggressive styling, again looking at the boat here from the centre at the front. And we can see the domes and what have you up top. There's a couple of practical touches up here, things like the refrigeration drawers, and there's some storage lockers for bits and pieces as you would expect. So starting price on this particular model, she's £3.285 million with the 1900 horsepower engines. This particular boat, as you see her, she's actually just over the £3.9 million mark, including a tender in the back, to give you a true on-the-water price. And there you have it. So of course this one is available here, start of the show. If you'd like to know more, as always, it's james@sunseekersouthampton.com, or the mobile's +44 7747 686 587. Hope you enjoyed looking around with us this morning, and check back more for a little bit more on the stand through the course of the week.